And now Kenya joined the world in marking the International Day to End Impunity Against Journalists amid grim statistics that indicate at least 3 in 4 journalists have faced official restrictions, obstruction or intimidation in reporting on COVID-19. Now, a report by the International Federation of Journalists also indicates 2/3 of staff and freelance journalists have suffered pay cuts, lost revenue and job losses as a result of the pandemic. Jackline Wambiru with details of the woes that are facing journalists in their quest to tell you the news stories.
The celebrations of the International Day to End Impunity Against Journalists revealed the continued plight facing journalists in their work. A report by the International Federation of Journalists painting the grim realities following a survey that indicated at least 2/3 of journalists and freelance journalists have suffered financial loss as a result of the pandemic, including job losses, loss of revenue, pay cuts, cancelled commissions or worsening work conditions.
At least 600 journalists who have lost their jobs or others suffering massive pay cuts. Kuna watu wamekatwa up to 70% salary.
What is the media environment like in the newsroom? How are journalists treated? And between March and now, if a media house has refused to pay journalists and they have been evicted from the houses and using the COVID as an excuse, and for media organizations, some of them that have been making millions and have insurance and so on, then that is no excuse. That translates to impunity.
Principal Secretary in the State Department of Broadcasting and Telecommunications, Esther Koimet, presiding over the celebrations, challenged media owners to put in place proper mechanisms to caution journalists from the losses and enable them to perform their work independently in the wake of the pandemic.
The government acknowledges the role played by independent and professional media in national development and will continue to extend all necessary support to the sector to enable it discharge its duties. The government is keen to establish a media fund that would ensure sustainability in the industry, which is essential for a free and independent media that serves the public interest. It's clear that the need for reforms in the media ecosystem is necessary to make the outlets vibrant and enable them play their watchdog role in the society.
Media stakeholders also called on media organizations to put in place alternate mechanisms to aid in revenue streaming so as to cushion journalists. At the same time, they decried the delays in bringing to justice perpetrators of crimes against journalists and media workers, calling for access to justice for journalists who continue to face violations in the line of duty.
We receive an average of 3 cases per week of journalists who have been either attacked by police officers, political party supporters, and militia across the country.
The UN has also highlighted in a report that 1,200 journalists have been killed in the last 14 years for reporting news and bringing information to the public. The report further indicates that the figures do not include other challenges faced on a daily basis, including torture, enforced disappearances, arbitrary detention, intimidation, sexual attacks and harassment in both conflict and non-conflict situations. The day is marked in commemoration of the assassination of 2 French journalists in Mali on 2nd November 2013. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Jackline Wambiru.